for the rebound. Dylan Alexander came out of nowhere to grab that basketball and gets it back. Rashad Muhammad in transition, catch and shoot three ball offline. And you just assumed that he would hit that shot by the way he's been shooting the basketball in this second half. And we were talking, Alex, off air. He has the ability to just take over the game, and he decides it, and it happens. And it seems like that's what he started to do here in the last couple of minutes. In the meantime, the Aggies with a three-point shot of their own. Avery Johnson misfires, rebounded by Isaac Thornton, hits the accelerator down the lane, and a foul will be called against the Aggies as he put the shot up. It goes against Avery Johnson, and Isaac Thornton is rewarded by a trip to a free throw line.
What you got to do, get physical, get in the lane, draw those fouls, and if you do get hacked, it's okay.
Oh, they're going to call it a non-shooting foul. I thought for sure that was a shooting foul, but apparently not, so the Spartans will inbound from their baseline. Tossed into the backcourt where it's grabbed by Wilson. Wilson gives it away to Rashad Muhammad. 27 seconds on the shot clock, so the Spartans can try and reset their offense here as Thornton playing the point guard position, moves to his left, now cuts back to the right side around a screen, gives it back inside to Wilson, who drives in and lays it in. And that was a good give and go. Right off the screen, Wilson immediately cut toward the hoop, and that's when Thornton saw him and sent the pass underneath. And now a whistle away from the ball again. And who will he go against? And it's going to be a timeout. I'm not sure what the whistle initially was for, but we're going to take a break in the action here. 11:38 remaining in the second half, and the Spartans trail by 9, 49-40. You're listening to Spartans basketball from Learfield Sports. What happened?
I don't know.
It wasn't a dead ball.
No. Because I thought it was a foul on him first.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, but no, did you see that over there? They knocked him down.
I know, I saw that.
Oh, dude.
On the floor here, I have Ryan, and Ryan is our contestant for the super shot today. Now you're gonna have two chances, all right? Two chances, but you gotta make sure you shoot the ball before you cross that line.
They did give Muhammad a foul.
Got it? You ready?
Oh, it's a technical.
Let's
for
cheer
what?
on, guys.
Wait.
What happened? Huh? Double T. Oh, double T.
Just a little short, Ryan.
Wait, what?
Double T.
Oh, okay.
Come on, I think you can do this. Let's cheer on. Woo!
Thank you.
Oh, just a little bit short and to the right. Ryan, thank you for playing Sports Chalet Super Shot. Back to you, Russ.
Sports Chalet is a proud partner of Spartan Athletics. Drop by their San Jose location at the Eastridge Mall on Tully Road. Sports Chalet.
Joined by Alex Scott here in the second half as the Spartans trail the Aggies 49-40. But we were wondering why there was a whistle going into that timeout. But we were told during the break that Rashad Muhammad had been issued a technical foul along with Iggy Newich. So double technicals. But Newich, that's his third personal. For Muhammad, it's his fourth personal foul. So Muhammad, Cunningham, and James, two of the Spartans' five starters, and the leading scorer for the team, have 4 fouls on the game, and we're not even halfway through the second half. So trouble brewing in terms of what the Spartans have from their scorers, and that's their 9th team foul for San Jose State, and for Newich, it's his 3rd personal foul. And I'm not sure what was going on. My eyes were on the ball, but it looked like some pushing and shoving.
I think it goes back to what happened before in the previous play where Muhammad went down off ball. This is before the ball was in play. It was Newich who knocked him down. Muhammad wanted to come back and say, okay, you're going to knock me down. This is on. This is on right here.
So just a little bit of a repercussion of what happened in the previous play as a baseline drive by Graham and a reverse lay-in by him drops down. And that breaks a 10-0 run that the Spartans had in the last few minutes. And it is back to a double-digit lead for the Aggies, 51-40. Catching and shooting the three is Devontae Wilson. Had some contact there, was knocked to the floor, but no call. And on the rebound, the Spartans throw it away. Back to Graham, who is fouled by Isaac Thornton on his way to the hoop.
Number 20, Isaac Thornton.
So Thornton with his 3rd personal foul. 10 team fouls for San Jose State, 11 minutes to play. So the Spartans will be forced, it looks like, to put back in Rashad Muhammad and Chris Cunningham, both of whom have 4 personal fouls. And Graham, his first free throw is a miss. And Matt Pollard, along with Brandon Mitchell, check out for Muhammad and Cunningham. Meanwhile, we still haven't seen anything of Jalen James since he committed his 4th personal foul. Graham has hit 4 free throws tonight, missed his first end of this 2 chances from the free throw line, but hits his second. And he now has 10 points on the game. Game's leading scorer is 17 points from Rashad Muhammad. 3 Spartans with double figures, 2 Aggie players with double figures. As now Muhammad catch and shoot 3, and it rattles around and out, tipped back into the backcourt by Cunningham, but then off of a Spartan player last as it was bobbled around in the backcourt and knocked out of play. 52-40, 10:46 left to play in the second half. Aggies on top. They've had a lead the entire game. Spartans have yet to lead this game. The lead for the Aggies has been as high as 19 points. Aggies take it on the right side wing with Hawkins. Hawkins dribbles it for a moment before reversing it back to the left side, putting it on the floor, avoiding some of the defense and getting the floater down, but not in was Graham around Chris Cunningham. Cunningham took it away, gave it back out to Alexander for a 3-ball, and it's good. Dylan Alexander can be an igniter off the bench. He did a great job against Houston, and he has a 3-ball here for his first bucket of the night. And he had a nice game against Houston, both defensively and offensively. Had his first points in 4 games against Houston. He had a total of 5 points in that game. And he makes it another 9-point deficit for San Jose State. Hawkins on the right, holds it on his hip and spins it underneath now, and putting it on the floor is Newich, and Newich tries to go around Cunningham, but he can't, and now it's taken away by the Spartans. Thornton outlets ahead for Wilson. Wilson delays, and some contact. A foul is called against Hawkins on Wilson.
And that's what you call urgency in the step. Spartans moving with a purpose right now with 9:38 remaining.
That's just the 6th team foul on shooting foul. So Isaac Thornton with a fresh shot clock will inbound underneath the Spartans basket. Moves it into the corner on the right side. Wilson down the lane, floats it up to the hoop. No good. Tipped out into the backcourt by Cunningham. Nice alert play there from Chris Cunningham. The Spartans get a fresh shot clock and a new possession. Muhammad on a pivot foot, gives it back to Wilson. Wilson swings it over to the corner on the right side for Thornton. Off of his dribble, underhands back out to Wilson. Shoots the 3-ball off the front of the rim, and high for the rebound are the Aggies with Avery Johnson pulling it away. So multiple efforts there for San Jose State, but unable to cut the deficit for the Aggies anymore. And now a steal from Wilson and Thornton. Thornton with a one-on-one, tries the lay and misses it, gets his ball back and is fouled on the second effort. And it's just kind of an awkward timing for Isaac Thornton as he was in stride with Corey Hawkins, or beg your pardon, Darius Graham, and tried to go around him. Got the shot away, but probably not the shot he wanted, and then the second effort was there, but a foul was called.
Well, if you're a player, you're going to drive in, you're going to expect the contact there.
Yeah.
When the contact's not there, it's going to change and alter the way your shot's going to fall down.
So Thornton at the free throw line, first one on its way, and it's too strong. No good. Isaac Thornton came into this game 7 of 11 from the free throw line this season. Cunningham checks out. So does Rashad Muhammad, preserving their foul troubles. So DJ Brown and Matt Pollard in for San Jose State. Thornton attempting his second free throw as the Spartans trail by 9. Make it a trail by 8 as he hits his second. And for Isaac Thornton, that's his first point of this game. Thornton was a player that started the first 7 games of the year, but really didn't have the productive numbers offensively for San Jose State, so he's been a bench player since that point. And now the Aggies with Thornton eyeing down Lamar, who has the ball. They'll swing it into the corner on the right side. Hawkins once again receives. Sipkins now not nearly having the production that he had in the first half. His double team sends it underneath, and it's stolen away again by Dylan Alexander, who leads the rush and gives it back out to Thornton on the right, puts it on the floor, drives it, lays it off the glass, and good. And Isaac Thornton has cut the lead even closer. 52 to 46 the score. 8:16 remaining in the second half, and a 30-second timeout called by UC Davis. A 16-3 run for San Jose State put on in the last 6 minutes, and the Spartans are inching their way closer in this game.
Inch by inch. This is, they talk about football as a game of inches. Well, this is a game of inches, and they're points. Close, valuing those possessions, and wow, Isaac Thornton, that's what you talk about, a pro move with a head fake swish over. Beautiful.
19-point lead was the largest for UC Davis, and that was with 18 minutes remaining in the second half. And since that point, in the span of 10 minutes, the Spartans have cut that deficit, partially because they've used a 16-3 run, but more so, remember we talked about they had 15 turnovers in the first couple minutes of the second half total for the game? They only have 16 now. They've only committed 1 turnover in the last 10 minutes. And that has been critical for San Jose State, keeping control of the basketball. And it's allowed them to climb back into this one. And they trail still, 52 to 46, in a game that they have never led. Lamar on the left, off of his dribble. Isaac Thornton trying to guard him, but he's giving him some room as now he gives a pass away to the right side and down the elbow. Fernteroff turns against his defender and lays it in off the glass. And so it is 54 to 46. Thornton moves it to the right side and had the ball poked away and almost stolen away. Corey Hawkins, can't believe a foul was called against him, but Hawkins is called for the foul. That'll be his second personal foul and the 8th team foul, and we'll take a break from the Event Center. 54 to 46, Spartans trying to come back here and get their first lead of the game, and some free throws to come when we return to Walt McPherson Court. You're listening to Spartans basketball from Learfield Sports.
Challenge. Kim Cho, how's this going to work?
Oh yeah, take it.
Hey Russ, I have with me Arjun here, and Arjun told me he has never played golf before, so this will be his first chance. Now Arjun, where's our box here? All right, Arjun, you're gonna have 2 chances to put that ball right in that box, all right?
I thought that he was going to get a technical.
Yeah,
did you see that?
Yeah.
You take your dad there, he's gonna play golf, and be the next Tiger Woods, right? Here we go.
Oh, that Rashad shot a couple.
A little over to your left here. One more try. Come on, guys, let's cheer him on.
I mean, I've heard of football players doing it, but I never thought of.
Back to you, Russ.
All
right, thank you.
Man, I knew something smelled in here.
Two-tiered lighted driving range, the perfect practice facility for all skill sets. Lessons from professional golf instructors or corporate events. Los Lagos Golf Tours, a proud partner of Spartan Athletics.
Along with me is Alex Scott. 54 to 46 is the score. Aggies with the lead, a lead that they have had the entire game, but the Spartans put together a nice comeback here with a 16-3 run in the last 6 minutes and are inching their way back to a spot where they can try and take a lead in this game. Spartans have 3 players in double figures. Rashad Muhammad with 17 points, but 4 fouls. Chris Cunningham with 11 points, but 4 fouls. Devontae Wilson has 10 points. He only has 1 foul, but he's just 3 of 12 from the field. And the Spartans are 37% from the field in this game, and a much, much better 40% from beyond the arc in the half, 4 of 10, and 53% from the field in the second half, which has helped them climb back into this game, a game that they had trailed by as many as 19 points. Out of the timeout, Isaac Thornton back at the free throw line, who's been a really good player off the bench in this game for San Jose State as he hits his first free throw. Isaac Thornton with 4 points. Talked about his production offensively as being inconsistent at the first part of this season. Hits both of his free throws here, and he has 5 points this evening. His high for the season has been 8 points for San Jose State. And it's 54 to 48. Walking it up across the timeline is Lamar for the Aggies. Right-handed pass into Hawkins, and Hawkins backing in against the defense, had the ball stripped away and now stolen away by Alexander. And Alexander dribbling it across. A foul was called against the Aggies from Lamar away from the basketball. How many fouls have we seen tonight away from the ball?
There's been a lot there. Lamar there, and also talk about Hawkins. He felt that he got fouled out on the other end by DJ Brown.
So Jaleel Williams will go to the free throw line here. Down 54-48. Williams not playing too much here after he injured his knee against Houston, as they're wiping up some condensation on the opposite end of the floor before Williams will attempt his free throws. And he's had limited minutes here this evening. He's a player that is averaging about 25 minutes per game. But that's also a nice player to have when there are foul trouble players on the bench. Jaleel Williams just 0 of 4 from the field, hadn't played all that much tonight. Now finds himself at the free throw line, which are proving to be a couple of pretty big free throws coming up here. And his first is a miss. Tipping up the rebound, though, is Isaac Thornton. Thornton gets it back for the Spartans, and he resets to DJ Brown. How about the effort from Thornton? He has been spectacular in this second half. Thornton dribbles with the left hand. Angles it over to the right, and Dylan Alexander catches it. Spins away from one defender, gets to the elbow, and the floater drops in. How about that move from Dylan Alexander? The freshman looked like he was down, but certainly not out. Did a spinorama, got to the rack, and it's now a 4-point game. 7 minutes to play, 54-50. Aggies dribbling it down to the free throw line from Lamar. Lamar back to Hawkins. He tries to spin move into the paint. Dumps it back outside along the perimeter. Off of his dribble, looking for some help was Graham. Graham resets to Hawkins. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hawkins and DJ Brown eye to eye. Dribbles to the right side on a crossover. Reaching in is Alexander, and DJ Brown tries to get it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Gets a hand in the face. His shot no good. Rebounded by San Jose State. Outlet to Jaleel Williams. Wanted the lob, but instead they'll slow things down along the perimeter. Alexander drives in. His shot with a right hand no good. Too strong off the back iron. And rebounded by the Aggies. Hawkins walks it across the timeline. Avery Johnson receives the pass, spins it underneath along the free throw line, and now a dump off from Lamar. Lamar along the left side of the paint lays it in. And Lamar with good anticipation for that pass to come from him. Isaac Thornton gets it, takes it across the half-court line, and it gets right in front of the Spartans bench before Coach Wojcik calls a timeout. 6-point game, 56-50, and a 30-second timeout has been called by the Spartans. UC Davis just has 2 timeouts remaining in this game. San Jose State with 3 timeouts left in this game.
Yeah, this team will not die. I love the fight that this young team has shown. It puts a smile on your face. It says, you know what? No matter what the cost, this team is never out. You cannot count this team out of a game.
No, absolutely not. They continue to battle. But, you know, I'd like to see them just get a lead to start off the game and not make us worry about it.
I know. You know what? I'm having some heart palpitations right now. I gotta bring the oxygen tank over here just to make sure.
It's like they need a 10-point deficit or more to start playing. It's like, oh, we need to get going now, huh? All right. Well, we can do that.
All right. So, you know what? They just make it more entertaining for the fans.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. Come out to Spartan basketball and see a comeback.
It's fun for them. It's hard for us.
It's very difficult. 56-50. Thornton to inbound from in front of the scorer's bench and gets it into Jaleel Williams. Lobs underneath for Chris Cunningham. Wide open, lays it in off the glass. Good touch pass from Jaleel Williams, and Chris Cunningham has tied his season high with 13 points now. And meanwhile, Cunningham is playing with 4 fouls. Cunningham now on defense as he's guarding against one of the bigger bodies is Newich. Newich reverses and hands it off to Lamar. Can't find a lane, so he kicks it back out again for Hawkins. Hawkins drives into the lane, hangs in the air, and his floater from 8 feet away drops down. He was airborne for a while, it seemed. Dropped in the bucket, 58-52, 5 minutes and 5 seconds to play. Jalen James now resurges back off the bench and is in the game with 4 fouls. Cunningham backing in against his defender on the right side block, looking for some help outside for James. Spins it back again to Cunningham, turns against the defender, and a foul is called against Chris Cunningham as he tried to make a move to the basket. Cunningham can't believe it, but that is his 5th foul, and Cunningham is out of this game. So this first Spartan who had 4 fouls will depart, Chris Cunningham, who leaves with a season-high tie of 13 points. And Cunningham also had 8 rebounds, so a nice effort from Cunningham, but that has been his issue this season, just lots of fouls for Chris Cunningham. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Alex, that Cunningham had only had 2 games where he had fewer than 4 fouls this year.
He's just not really found the touch. I mean, he is a big, strong guy, really down there in the low paint, really not forcing his will.
So the Spartans will put Devontae Wilson back out there. Now there are 2 Spartan players on the court right now with 4 fouls also, and that's the 2 freshman guards of Jalen James and Rashad Muhammad. So some more trouble brewing for San Jose State on a handoff as now the Aggies control with Graham. Graham under the right elbow, and he swings it over to the left side for Newich, and Newich back to Hawkins. Hawkins delaying against Jaleel Williams, guarding him very gingerly. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Williams now starts to step up against him, and he'll toss to the left side. Crossover dribble, pulling up for a floater from the right elbow. No good out of the hand of Lamar. And a secondary effort also no good from Newich, taken away by San Jose State. Long outlet pass to Muhammad on the right side corner. He's pinned there by the defensive Lamar. So instead, he resets to Jalen James, wisely so. 4 minutes to play, 58-52. James off of his dribble, and he is forced to call a timeout. And for the Spartans, that is another timeout. They only have 2 timeouts remaining with 4 minutes left to play here in this basketball game. Both teams with just 2 timeouts left, and it's 58-52. So San Jose State, now each possession, you mentioned earlier in the game, each possession was critical, but when you've pushed so hard to get a comeback, now with 4 minutes to play, each possession even more so is important.
Yeah, it's taking the heightened advanced stats with it. I mean, now San Jose State has to create more, mismatches, and they don't have a lot of, they don't have most of their starting 5 out on the court. I mean, you have Wilson and James because Cunningham just fouled out. They don't have a big body out there to contend with the bigs of UC Davis.
And if you were to get Pollard in and off the inbound, it is Rashad Muhammad left wide open for a 3, knocks it down.
I don't know how you do that. Of all things to do, you don't leave him open.
Wide open, and of course he'll take that all day, every day. It's now 58-55. Aggies trying to answer. Hawkins spins down the lane, lays it in. Beautifully done by Corey Hawkins, who has not had very much production in terms of offense here in the second half. Just now has 14 points, but 4 of those coming here in the second half, and they have a 5-point lead yet again. Isaac Thornton takes it to the left side, and he gives to Dylan Alexander. Rifles a pass underneath for Jaleel Williams, and he is fouled trying to go to the hoop. Good vision, good accuracy on the pass from Isaac Thornton. And the Spartans, as they trail by 5, will have some free throws when we come back to the Event Center. 60-55 with 3:19 remaining in the second half. Spartans trail the Aggies. You're listening to Spartans basketball from Learfield Sports.
You know how this works. You get out of your seat and you shake your tail feathers. And those who can shake their tail feathers in a most spirited manner.
It's like Reggie Miller. You don't leave Reggie Miller right
How do you leave him open?
You don't leave Steph Curry wide open like that. Come on.
If y'all are ready,
You see him kind of look around like, oh,
Like,
I am open. Okay, thanks.
And they left if they left everybody that open, that would, man.
Thank you, Derek.
That's a defensive lapse if ever I've seen one.
Jeez. Thank you, sir. Alongside me is Alex Scott. Welcome back inside the Event Center where the Spartans trail by 5, 60-55 with 3 19 remaining in the second half. San Jose State had committed 15 turnovers, 12 turnovers in the first half and 3 very quickly in the second half, but since that point they've only committed 2. Still a total of 17, which is a lot of turnovers in a game, but they've been able to limit it. They've also been shooting 57% here in the second half to get this comeback, and they trail by 5 after by trailing as many as 19 points. 3 players in double figures. Rashad Muhammad with 20 points. Chris Cunningham is fouled out of this game with 13 points, and Devontae Wilson with 10 points. Meanwhile, 14 points from Corey Hawkins and 10 points from Ryan Sipkins, but Sipkins hasn't scored at all in this second half. Spartans trail by 5, and coming out of the timeout, Jaleel Williams will be at the free throw line. For Jaleel, he is 0 of 2 from the free throw line in this game. He is yet to hit a shot, whether it be a free throw or a shot from the field. He's 0 of 4 from the field, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, and that has stopped because he just hit his first free throw. Jaleel Williams, a player that averages just under 12 points per game. And this is the first game this season that Jaleel has not started. Hit his second free throw as well. So Jaleel Williams with a couple big free throw hits, and the Spartans trail by 3. 60-57. And the Aggies control, moving from left to right, Avery Johnson. Skip pass to the left side into the hands of Graham. Graham back to Hawkins, the very capable guard who is leading the team in scoring for the Aggies. Hawkins motioning the offense with his right hand as they move all 4 other players to the right side of the floor. A couple of cutters through the lane, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Crossover dribble, DJ Brown guarding against Hawkins. Jaleel Williams now all over him. Double teamed into the corner and stripped away and stolen away by DJ Brown. And the Spartans get the ball after DJ very quickly and alertly got onto that loose ball. And even if he didn't get there with 1 second on the shot clock, there was no chance for Hawkins to even think about getting a shot away from his backside. And the Spartans, with a big stop defensively, now have an opportunity to make it a 1-point game or even tie this game up.
That's hustle points for DJ Brown. Stat sheet hasn't looked too good for DJ tonight. No points, but 2 rebounds, 2 assists, but working his butt off to get, Spartans a chance in this game.
60-57. And you want to talk about a player that's been working hard in the second half. It's the player that has the basketball right now, and that's Isaac Thornton bringing it up for San Jose State. Maybe doesn't have the greatest line in terms of stats, but he has left it all out there tonight for San Jose State as Devontae Wilson gives back to Isaac Thornton for 3, and he knocks it down, and we're tied. Isaac Thornton with a 3-point shot. He has 8 points. The Spartans, after trailing by 19, have come back and tied this game up. How about that from Isaac Thornton? What a game he's had. And now an exchange on the right side. Graham gets it back, tries to lay it in. He does not. Rebounded offensively by Funteroff, and he lays it back in on the second effort. He has 9 points now, and the Spartans trail by 2, 62-60. Under 2 minutes to play. The Spartans have not led in this game at all. And now Isaac Thornton calls a timeout. The Spartans only have 1 timeout remaining in this game. How about Isaac Thornton? We talked about him, that he had just been leaving it out on the floor the entire game. Isaac Thornton, the 6'3" freshman out of San Antonio, came up with possibly the biggest shot of the game so far, a big 3, to tie up the game at 60. But Isaac Thornton, talked about him not having the best stat line maybe that jumps off the page at you, but 8 points, he's 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc, 3 shots from the free throw line, but he's had 5 rebounds, he's had 3 assists, and he's really been able to distribute.
So looking at that stat line, you could say that those 5 rebounds were 5 key rebounds.
Exactly.
That those led to more Spartan possessions, that those led to buckets by Cunningham, that those led to a Muhammad open or Alexander three-pointer. That is what Isaac Thornton does. He plays with a lot of hustle and a lot of heart.
Well, the thing about Isaac Thornton, too, you look at his numbers in terms of what he's done this season, and he's played in every game for San Jose State. Now, he hadn't started in every game, but he's only averaging just over 1 rebound per game, and tonight he's got 5. So he inbounds to Devontae Wilson, and now Thornton takes it back as he cycles it up in between the circles in the backcourt now. Starts to move to his left around the screen from Wilson, underhands back out to Alexander. Alexander nowhere to go, so he resets up top with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Thornton backing away from the defense, motioning Rashad Muhammad to go with him. Sets a screen from Williams, and now Wilson with a deep NBA range three, banks it home! How did he do it? 63-62, San Jose State with their first lead of the game, and the Aggies have called a timeout. That was beyond NBA range. That was a hand in his face, and that was a banked shot in to give the Spartans a lead. Wow. What a game this has been for San Jose State. Down but not out, and with a minute and 17 seconds to play, they have a 1-point lead.
The collective breath here in the event center was held as that shot went off from Devontae Wilson. The rattle through, and then the explosion of jubilation when it went down, and him falling down too. This is what basketball is all about.
You might give him 30 shots from that same position, and he might hit 5 the way he did. So the Spartans talking it over after Davis takes a timeout. We'll take a quick pause, 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Spartans basketball from Learfield Sports. (63-62), Spartans with their first lead of the game, and it comes at the 1:17 mark of the second half. A spirited comeback, and that seems to be the theme of the season for San Jose State. Being down but never out, and they have a lead. Coming out of this timeout, their first and only lead of this game. It took them a while to get there, but Spartans do have a 1-point advantage. And now it's going to be a dogfight for the last minute and 17 of this basketball game. Aggies will inbound from in front of their own bench. Sipkins to toss it in, and he does into the backcourt where it's grabbed by Graham. Graham with a left-handed dribble, a crossover. Now gives to Lamar. Lamar surveys, fires to the right side, backing in is Hawkins. DJ Brown on a block by Isaac Thornton as he was trying to go up into the hands of DJ Brown now. With a minute to play, DJ to the right side for Thornton, and DJ gets it back. Isaac Thornton adding on a little topper with the block. Spartans trying to milk the clock here as Thornton controls. Delays, pauses, and now resets to Wilson. Wilson to DJ Brown. DJ dribbles it over to Coach Wojcik and calls for a timeout with 13 seconds on the shot clock and 43 seconds on the game clock. So Coach Wojcik is calling for his full timeout. And that is the final timeout for San Jose State. Meanwhile, the Aggies have 1 timeout remaining. And the Spartans will take their full 1-minute timeout. All this comeback in the last 5 minutes has been without Chris Cunningham, who's fouled out. And it has been with Rashad Muhammad with 4 fouls and Jalen James with 4 fouls. Spartans in this second half have just been spectacular. They're shooting 61% from the field in the second half, and that has boosted their shooting percentage for the game to 43% overall. It was just an abysmal number in the first half for San Jose State. But they've limited the turnovers in the second half, and they've been able to get the comeback and have their first lead of the game with a 1-point advantage, 63-62. 20 points from Rashad Muhammad, 13 points from Wilson and Cunningham, but it's really been the 8 points from Isaac Thornton and the rest of his game that he's had in this second half to help the Spartans the most, I think. So DJ Brown getting ready to inbound from just in front of the Spartans bench. And the Spartans getting all their personnel in order. And this is a possession where the Spartans need to score. DJ Brown to inbound. Thornton, Williams, Muhammad, and Wilson on the floor with him. Wilson gets the inbound and gives back to Thornton. Thornton, the hot hand right now, dribbles with the right hand between the legs. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Drives down the lane. High teardrop off the glass. No good. Julian Williams gets it back and lays it in with the right hand. He was right in the right spot, and with 29 seconds left, the Spartans have a 65-62 lead. And now a catch and shoot 3 ball on its way, and it's good from Brainton Lamar. And Lamar has tied things up 65-65, and that was as clutch as it can get from Lamar. Brenton Lamar had only hit a few shots in this game. That was his first 3 of the night, but off of a nice pick, he was left open and buried it.
Yeah, you don't want to have a very good shooter open for that, similar to the Muhammad 3 over there. Very good, and they need to, the Spartans really have to play focused. I mean, the shot clock is off, so you could have a chance to say, okay, we're going to take a chance here to shoot this, or if we don't shoot it, we're going into overtime.
And I think that is the play. You got to work the clock down, get a last shot. Don't allow UC Davis to even have a chance. Yeah. And that's the play. I think the way that this game has been going, you can't give them another possession.
No, you can't, because both teams right now, the possessions are at the highest of value.
Yep, absolutely. So DJ Brown will inbound for San Jose State. Thornton gets it, 22 seconds now. He will slow it down and take it across the timeline. Working for a last-second shot are the Spartans. Thornton waiting to make a move with 10 seconds now. Still surveying. Spartans are just stoic on the floor right now. Thornton starts to make a move, and it was poked away out of play on a diving effort from Hawkins, and Hawkins got knocked into by his own player, and some more condensation being wiped up as multiple bodies went to the floor, and everybody started laughing.
I think DJ Brown took a little spill there as well. So everybody just falling out on the floor.
Runaway freight train, DJ Brown came flying through. And with 4.6 seconds now, the Spartans will inbound with plenty of time to get an opportunity to shoot the ball. And they have their best shooters on the floor right now. Inbounded to Jalen James. James drives in, kicks it back out. Rashad Muhammad, 3-ball for the win, and it's offline. And so we go to overtime. The Spartans, with a comeback, trailing by 19 points, have tied it up 65-65. Overtime coming up when we come back to the event center. You're listening to Spartans basketball from Learfield Sports. That was not the shot that they wanted.
No.
Just a minute, please.
Ooh. It's the first overtime game this year, right?
Yep, go to the third colored pen for the first time this season.
Oh, the green.
The green.
Ooh. Very nice.
Very nice.
Man, Thornton, dude. Give that guy the title belt. Give that guy a belt. Shoot. Yeah.
5 minutes on the clock for overtime, the first overtime game this season for San Jose State. We are tied at 65 to start this overtime session. And, well, we should go over the foul situations. Jalen James and Rashad Muhammad playing with 4 personal fouls for San Jose State. Cunningham already out with 5 fouls. 3 fouls for Isaac Thornton. 3 players with 3 fouls for the Aggies. And that is Johnson, Sipkins, and Newich. So, ball goes to center court. Spartans will be attacking the same bucket they did in the second half from right to left. And jumping center will be Jaleel Williams, and he will be opposed by Georgi Funtarov. And we're underway in overtime. Spartans win the opening possession. Jalen James gets it from Jaleel Williams. And this is really a chess match in overtime with the way these two teams have been battling the last 5 minutes. James walks it over to the right side and gives to Wilson back to James. James to DJ Brown. Catch and shoot three ball on its way just offline. Tipping back up for it was Matt Pollard. Got a big paw on it, and he was fouled in doing so. Pollard was fouled, and it was by Newich.
The foul is on number 1, Iggy Newich.
Iggy Newich with his 4th personal foul. And Matt Pollard goes to the free throw line. And Pollard 0 for 2 from the free throw line this season. And this is a lot to ask from a freshman. But the Spartans have so many freshmen in this game. His first free throw is a miss. No good. Right now, 2 freshmen are on the floor, and Isaac Thornton, the 3rd freshman, getting ready to check back in. Pollard, 2nd free throw on its way, and it is no good again. So Pollard 0 for 2, and the Aggies bring it up the floor from left to right. Carrying it up is Graham. Graham to the right side, swings it over again to the left, along the angle on the perimeter, and multiple passes before it gets right back into the hands of Graham. Cuts down the lane, kicks back out for Hawkins. Hawkins dribbles with the left, goes around his screen. Another screen set as DJ Brown trying to stick with him. Hawkins fires the 3 and buries it.
Corey Hawkins.
Corey Hawkins gets the first points of this overtime. He has 16 on the game. It's 68-65 with 3 minutes and 55 seconds left in overtime number 1. DJ Brown looking at Coach Wojcik as he moves it to the left side of the floor, motioning Jaleel Williams. Williams catches, up fake, hands it off to James. James shuffles left, gives it back to DJ on the right with an up fake, and now DJ exchanges back to Jalen James, and that pass from him was intercepted and tipped away by Hawkins out of play. So Isaac Thornton comes back in, and so does Rashad Muhammad for James and Pollard.
Number 20, Avery Johnson.
DJ Brown with 8 seconds on the shot clock will inbound here. Spartans certainly lacking size in this overtime because of the foul trouble that they have. And DJ Brown inbounds to Wilson. Wilson dribbles left and now hands off to Thornton. Thornton threads the needle with a pass to Jaleel Williams. Drives into the lane and is fouled with 1 second on the shot clock. He is fouled by Georgi Funtarov. And for Funtarov, that's his 3rd personal foul. And how crucial are free throws in overtime particularly. A lot of times you don't get too many shots from the field in a 5-minute scenario, and your free throws are where it counts, and the Spartans are 0 of 3 from the free throw line in the first overtime as Jaleel Williams missed his first.
One of the key things that Coach Wojcik said in the shoot-around today was that this game was going to come down to free throws.
He predicted it. That's exactly what it's looking like right now as Jaleel Williams bends the knees and puts up the 2nd free throw and knocks it down. So he has 5 points. Spartans trail by 2, 68-66. 3:25 to play in overtime number 1. Thornton defending Graham. Graham, crossover dribble to his left, down the outside of the lane on the left side. Sends it back out to a drive from Funtarov, and he scores it with the right hand, and the foul. Funtarov with a lot of contact there. Got the shot away, off balance with the right hand, tossed it off the glass, just kind of willed it home, and he will go to the free throw line to try and complete the 3-point play. DJ Brown comes out. Dylan Alexander replaces him.